love that everyone smiles.
Somebody's waking up.
Lake time, a favorite pastime for many Americans, including us in Kansas. Lakes are a wonderful way to enjoy a vacation, do some relaxing, catch a tan, or even for some provide work. As a kid, I remember growing up and going to the lake quite a few times and tubing, swimming, just hanging out, doing whatever. In Kansas, there are at least 24 different lakes and reservoirs in the state alone. Some of our lakes are being contaminated and overrun with organisms and bacteria. I'm here today to talk about two equally damaging organisms to our lakes and reservoirs: zebra mussels and blue-green algae. Can we beat them? Can we live without them? In the 1700s, the Black and Caspian Seas were once home to the zebra mussels. The little mussels made their way from those seas to the Great Lakes by way of the bilges in large sea ships, and then spread their way throughout most of the U.S. and into other countries. Traveling through the water in the ships is one of the most effective ways of transportation. At least 11 different lakes in Kansas have been designated as ANS, which means waters with aquatic nuisance species. Wilson and Canopolis are the nearest two to us. And these ANS waters are very widespread throughout Midwestern Kansas. These zebra mussels look very much like small clams, usually no longer than 1 inch long, about the size of one dime. The shell is usually yellowish brown in color with alternating dark and light stripes, hence the name zebra mussels. They have sticky threads that attach to any hard surface and are very sharp, which can often cut the hands and feet of local swimmers. There are chemicals used to kill the mussels. However, it would also kill all of the aquatic life, fish as well. In the wild, they're impossible to control. Mussels are generally spread by people. They're usually spread by motorcraft of some sort. They will attach to a solid object, and the spread can be prevented by draining all water from the boat or watercraft, letting it dry washing it with 140-degree temperature, which is your normal car wash temperature water, and letting it dry for 5 days. And also to never take fish or plants from one lake and put into another. And don't dip your bait bucket into a lake or river if it has water from another waterway. Don't move a mussel. Clean, drain, and dry your equipment. These mussels are a problem because they filter water in order to eat the plankton. And then the water is clear, but clear doesn't always mean clean. The clear water that mussels leave behind often leads to algae blooms, which can be harmful to people. Which brings me to my next topic, the toxic cyanobacteria, or commonly known as blue-green algae. This is blooming out of control in some areas of the state. The cyanobacteria have been found amongst the oldest fossils on the earth, and it is the largest group of bacteria that has been linked to human or animal illness. It's a natural common found bacteria in all waters in Kansas, and normally is not considered harmful to humans or aquatic life unless under certain circumstances. These certain circumstances, as in the extreme heat that we've been having, can result in multiplying of the algae. When these multiplications or blooms happen, toxins are released into the air and into the water that are dangerous to fish, humans, and animals. The colors of this algae could be brown, blue, green, yellow, or even red, and it usually looks like paint floating on the water's surface. The blooms should be considered nature's warning sign saying, do not go into the water. Side effects of human ingestion or exposure include sore throat, congestion, cough, wheezing, itchy skin, red skin, blistering, hives. They also include agitation, headache, abdominal pain, diarrhea, or vomiting. And it's also dangerous for animals. Animal symptoms include lethargy, vomiting, convulsions, or difficulty breathing. The KDHE, Kansas Department of Health and Environment, took samples of the algae that was reported to be abnormal. When they found out that it was toxic, they coordinated with the KDWPT, Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism, and they together informed the public of the dangers. Warnings and advisories were issued, and the difference is a warning is issued when high levels of toxic blue-green algae have been detected, and it makes the water conditions unsafe for direct contact. And there are currently 4 lakes or reservoirs in the state that are in warning, and that includes our own Betts Lake. Algae blooms at Betts Lake have been ongoing for a few years, and in 2010 it was so severe that it forced the closure of the lake. Advisories are issued when there is harmful blue-green algae detected. Hazardous conditions exist, however, you can still boat and fish. There are currently 5 advisories in the state. And the KDHE gives these precautions. Do not drink the lake water. If you're going to fish and eat the fish, clean the fish well, and only eat the fillet portion, dispose of the rest, and then keep pets from having contact with or drinking lake water. The Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism Secretary Robert Jensen said, people should use common sense and follow the guidelines. However, there's no need to panic. Our state parks are still the very best places to enjoy outdoors, even despite the heat of summer. The future for Betts Lake, from Terry Hoff, Great Bend Human Resource Manager, said, there's nothing we can do, there's no solution. That is very good. The city took efforts. There is an emulsion diffuser that was placed, and it was a submerged device that is attached to an air compressor that gently releases oxygen that is supposed to help alleviate the problem. So in summary, although lakes have these issues, we need to do what we can to help the problems that are already in place and do what we can to prevent further problems from being spread. Remember to wash out your equipment, let it dry, don't cross-contaminate between waters, don't drink the lake water, and if your animal has direct contact, get it treated or seen. Lakes and reservoirs are a great way to provide fun, provide entertainment, and provide jobs for people, so we need to do what we can to preserve them.